So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Here in Brisbane, Beit Or Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to you at home if you're watching us from Brisbane or from the Gold Coast. Before we start Kabbalat Shabbat, during the month of Elul, one of the many traditions are to blow the shofar and to remind you that the high holidays are coming. Time to start and look inside what we could have done better, who do we need to get our relationships going a bit better. But traditionally we don't blow the shofar on Shabbat. So for the sake of those of you who haven't heard the shofar yet during this month or at home, I will blow the shofar before Shabbat. 4 different sounds that we produce from the shofar. Tki'ah, which is one straight, medium-sized blow of the shofar for the righteous ones amongst us. How many of those do we have? Beside my wife? No one. The second one is shvarim, 3 segments for the common people who are trying their best, doing their best, but every now and then have a slip along the way. That's for most of us. The third one is the truah, 9 broken short segments for the evil, the reshaim, the complete evil amongst us. How many of those do we have beside me? No one. And the last one is the tki'ah gdolah. The tki'ah gdolah is perhaps the most important one, especially at the end of Yom Kippur, and it signifies that it's time to leave the past behind and to move forward. So tki'ah, shvarim, truah, and tki'ah gdolah. To wish us all meaningful holidays to come. Okay, I see that most of you don't have sidurim in front of you, so if you can pass a few from the front, it will be lovely. Because we are around tables this Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, it will be a bit harder to do a full arvit, so we will have Kabbalat Shabbat, a bit of a longer Kabbalat Shabbat for Shabbat Slichot, and I hope that we will all enjoy this Shabbat together. Page 126, 126.
Got one. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. טוב, הנה מה טוב. נה נה ניי נה נה ניי נה ניי ניי ניי.
And still on the same page.
ידיד נפש אב רחמן, ידיד נפש אב רחמן, משוכבך אל רצונך, משוכבך נה 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 ניי ניי אל רצונך. ימות עבדך כמו אייל, משתחווה ניי נה 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 ניי ניי אל מולדתך. ידיד נפש אב רחמן, ידיד נפש אב רחמן, משוכבך אל רצונך, משוכבך נה נה ניי 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 אל רצונך.
On page 118, please rise for the blessing over the Shabbat candles. We will light the candles and say the blessings together. Blessing.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Still at 126. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום. שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום.
We continue on page 130.
לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה על אדוני. נריע, נריע, לצאו אישנו, לצאו אישנו.
page 131. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש. Not familiar, not sure if Beit Or v'Shalom are familiar with this tune, but we're going to do it anyway, because we love it.
But it is kind of repetitive, so if you don't know it, you will know it by the end of this one. שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מים לים ישועתו, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מים לים ישועתו, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ.
And by the time that you were all singing, it was over. On the same page at the bottom.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. There's a clap coming. יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים ומלואו, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים ומלואו, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים ומלואו, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים, יהי רם הים ומלואו. And some of you who did come to us on Shavuot know that when we do a warm-up clap,
It means one thing.
the next one's going to have a whole lot of clapping. So we are going to try and get this right. So I am going to remind everyone of the clapping for Temple Shalom, and I will teach all of Beit Or v'Shalom our clapping for the next song. It's called Or Zaru Al Tzadik, and you need to try this. So first part, really easy, 2 claps. Just try that. Easy. Second part. Down, clap, down, clap, down, clap, clap. Try it. Down, clap, down, clap, down, clap, clap. And the sun going through the song. And I will be looking who forgets what they're doing. Do your best. See how you go with some rhythm. Oh,
132 at the bottom.
אור זרוע לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה. אור זרוע לצדיק ולשרי לב שמחה. ולשרי לב It wasn't bad. Good job, guys. אז שיר בעץ, תעשה אותו. כן.
Okay. We continue on page 138.
שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה לה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה, שמו וזכור בדיבור אחד. המיוחד, אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלחם, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה בחילה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה 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 פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. יאללה לה 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 לך דודי, יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה, יאללה לה לה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בלם, גם בשמחה
שבת סליחות. It's been quite a while that I've been leading services in Israel, in New Zealand, Western Australia, Gold Coast, other places. And one of the things that I'm always surprised is that when people are saying, that was beautiful. I'm not surprised because it was beautiful. I'm surprised because that's not what what I want to hear, what I'm expecting to hear. I would like to say, people, that was very meaningful. That's a different type of feeling. It's not about the suit, the shirt, the dress, the hat, the kippah. It's not about the flashy talit. It's about the heart that you bring with you to the service. Every year before the high holidays, I've got about 10 books that are my high holidays books. And every time I take one of them randomly and I start to read something that I haven't read before. One of them is the book of the Hasidic masters, talking about approximately 18th, 19th century, Poland, Russia, this place where the Hasidut was just born. And what the Hasidic masters wanted to do was to bring back spirituality into Judaism that was very constrained into the halachic world. And they asked themselves, how can we bring Jewish spirituality to the Jewish farmer who is not studying Talmud 16 hours a day at the Beit Midrash? One of those stories talks about this rabbi. Just before the high holidays, as everyone were preparing for Shabbat Slichot, to welcome Shabbat, and everyone were davening and studying just before Shabbat, the rabbi called the horseman. And he asked the horseman to get his carriage ready, to get the horses ready. He is leaving the synagogue and is going to the mountains to visit one of the Jews who are living quite remotely from the city, from the village. And the driver is starting to panic. Rabbi, it's almost Shabbat. Are you sure that you're going to make it there and back on time? And the rabbi says, get the horses ready. You know what? If you're really concerned, let's take 4 horses instead of 2. We might get it a bit quicker this time. So they're leaving the shtetl, the village, starting to travel on the main road. Into the woods they go. And after a while, the rabbi says to the driver, wait for me here. And the rabbi continues on foot into the woods, where a little cabin stands. And in there, he sees a lonesome man sitting with a bottle of vodka, 2 shot glasses on the table, and a notebook. And he writes something on the right-hand side and something on the left-hand side. Something on the right-hand side, something on the left-hand side. And he sees that on the right, there are 3 or 4 written pages. On the left-hand side, there are about 120 pages. And then the guy looks up, looks down, look up, look down, pour 2 glasses of vodka, saying Salut L'chaim, drinks 1 vodka, change the chairs around the table, say L'chaim, Salut, drinks the other one. Then he goes back to his seat, write a few more, and it repeats itself and repeats itself about 4 or 5 times. I don't know how this guy handles his vodka. I would have been down on the floor. And after a few times, the guy starts to dance around the room. There is no one there, but the guy is dancing around the room as if he is dancing in a wedding with a friend on his arm. At At this point, the rabbi decides, I need to understand what's going on here. So the rabbi knocks on the door. The guy opened the door with the nose a bit red and the cheeks are a bit, you know how they are after a few vodkas. And he asked the guy, Beryl, you need to tell me, what are you doing here? It's almost slichot. Everyone are waiting for me over there. You're here, and I have to tell you, I've been watching you the whole time. You need to tell me, what are you doing? And Beryl explains to the rabbi, Rabbi, I had a horrible year. It all started 10 months ago when my cow got sick. And I prayed to God and I said, God, I haven't asked anything from you for a very long time. Can you just please help me with this cow? I need the milk. I need my livestock. Can you help me with the cow? 3 weeks later, the cow was dead. So I looked up to the heavens and I said to God, you know what, God? I didn't ask for much. If that's how you want to go, that's how we'll go. I am no longer going to Kabbalat Shabbat in the synagogue. The next day, my goat was sick. So I looked up to the heavens and said, God, we tried each other once. Let's not try each other again. Can you please heal my goat? 2 weeks later, the goat is dead. So I said to God, that's it, God, no more tefillin for me. The next day, 5 chicken were sick. I said to God, God, what do you want from me? The cow is dead, the goat is dead, the chickens are not well, no milk, no dairy, no eggs. What do you want from me, God? Can you please heal the poor chickens?
I want you to be vegan.
2 days later, the chickens were dead. And I said to God, that's it. I'm not going to shul anymore. So the rabbi is asking him, so what happened? And why are you telling me this story when you're half drunk from the vodka? And Beryl tells him, look, I had a 3 years fight with Shmerel. And Shmerel was not a nice guy, ever. But 2 weeks ago, he came knocking on my door with a bottle of Slivovich. And he said, Beryl, we were not talking to each other for 3 years. Enough is enough. I've got here a bottle of Slivovich. We're going to sit around your table and we're going to talk about things until either we're friends or we don't care about the past anymore. And he said, we sat and we talked, and I told Shmerel what he done to me, and Shmerel told me what I did to him. And we said, we're going to leave it behind, and we had a glass of Slivovitz. And then I told him why I was angry at him, and he told me why he was angry at me. And we had another Slivovitz. And we continued the whole evening until the bottle of Slivovitz was empty. And then we hugged and we danced, and everything was okay. So tonight I know that everyone are waiting in the synagogue and everyone are waiting for slichot. But tonight I couldn't afford a bottle of Slivovitz. So tonight I bought a bottle of vodka. And I sat around the table and I said, God, you're not Shmerel, but we're going to do the same. On the right-hand side, God, I'm going to write down all the bad things that I've done to you. On the left-hand side, God, I'm going to write all the bad things that you did to me. And every time that I feel that we can take a little step forward, we're going to have a shot of vodka together. But Rabbi, don't know what happened with God. God doesn't drink vodka. So I had to drink the vodka in honor of God. And after 5 times, God was pleased, I was pleased, and we danced. And God was here with me. I was in love with God, and God was in love with me, and now I can start a new year. At that point, God gave him a big hug and said, "Look, Beryl, I just came from the synagogue when people were uttering words with their mouth, but you were praying with your heart. You have established a relationship with God. Whether if you were angry at God or pleased with God, you had a meaningful relationship that you were willing to take a step forward and meet God where God is and where you are. Now please hop on my carriage, because I want tonight for Slichot evening to have at least one person in the synagogue that is praying with his heart and not with his mouth." Our Hasidic masters had a way to tell us the ritual is important. The ancient words are important. But they also managed to tell us your words are important. And it's not about the words that you utter. It's the feelings, the emotions that you put into those words. It's not about saying this grumpy, "I'm sorry," because your mom told you to say, "I'm sorry." You know what I'm talking about, right? I can see the smiles around the room. It's about feeling uncomfortable. It's about approaching someone saying, "I know that what I've done was wrong. This is what I've done. I'm asking for your forgiveness, and I promise that I will do my best not to ever do it again." To acknowledge what you've done, to acknowledge the hurt that you caused, and to say, "I have changed." To say it to us here. We've got a whole month of Elul plus another 10 days to get things right amongst ourselves. And only then we've got one day to say, "I'm sorry," and to get this relationship right. With that in mind, I would like to wish you meaningful high holidays, and tomorrow during the drasha I will address Parashat HaShavua, and once again, what can we learn from the rituals of the past into our lives today? Shabbat Shalom. You're so quiet now, I feel bad to jam again, but hey, that's what we're going to do on page 140. And this time with a tune that everybody knows.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידך ארנן. מה גדול מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
Page 142.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי אל עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי אל עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי אל עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי אל עליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
And before we continue, tradition is tradition. Announcements?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Beit Or Shalom. To anyone who hasn't been here before, it's a pleasure to have visitors from the Gold Coast. An absolute delight to have Rabbi Adi and Gila with us tonight and also tomorrow to lead services. Thank you very much. We hope everyone has a wonderful weekend with us. And service tomorrow will be at 10 o'clock. If anyone who's here tonight is able to come along tomorrow, please do so. Coming up from that, next weekend, our Shabbat service on the Saturday morning will be led by Bryce. And then on Sunday evening, we have our Erev Rosh Hashanah service and dinner. If you are wanting to come to that and haven't yet booked in, please do contact Mavis as soon as possible after Shabbat to RSVP to that. I know that the numbers are filling fast, so please get on to that. That's on Sunday evening, the 25th. Sunday 26th, we'll be having a Rosh Hashanah morning service at 10 a.m. So please let us know if you are able to attend. We're expecting it will be a little bit of a challenge to get a minyan for that service, so if you are able to attend and contribute to the minyan, please do so. Lorraine, what's happening in the community? Does National Council?
There's an event on Sunday, a bagel baker. Haven't booked now, probably.
Probably too late.
Probably too late, Purity one.
That's about it. And there'll be more information for Yom Kippur and Kol Nidre as we get closer to the time. But for tonight, just have a wonderful evening, and hopefully we'll see some of you back here tomorrow morning as well. Thank you.
Okay, quite a few people told me before we started Kabbalat Shabbat, this is wonderful, we need to do it more often. Talk to your president. Okay? I think that it is wonderful. I will talk to my president, you'll talk to your president. But we're trying to make it an annual event to invite Beit Or Shalom to the Gold Coast at least once a year, and to come here at least once a year. And if we will find an occasion to do it again, great. But it's really wonderful. And the only thing that I can add is Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Page 625.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא אדון עולם והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה אדון עולם בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצוחק לי בעת צרה אדון עולם והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם בידו אף קידוחי בעת תשען ואעירה אדון עולם ואם רוחי גווייתי אדוני ולא אירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם. Shabbat Shalom.
Kiddushation in a minute. Let's just say Shabbat Shalom to our friends at home.